Hey everybody, welcome to Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Got a review for you today. Book that I just finished reading about 30 to 45 minutes ago. Chuck Dixon's second Conan novel, Caravan of the Damned. Now, a few months ago, I reviewed his first of these novels, Siege of the Black Citadel. I really enjoyed it. Couple minor qualms. Folks, this one's even better. Running through my mind while I was reading this was, I want to see this as a animated movie. Ralph Bakshi, of course. It would be awesome. It has that kind of feel to it. It moves that way. So what I like to do with a lot of these reviews is read just a little bit of the very beginning to give people a sense of the writing, because especially when you're doing a Conan pastiche, the way it's written is almost as important as the story itself and the characterizations. I've read quite a few pastiches of Robert E. Howard's work, and most of them I come away going, it was fine, but it didn't sound like an REH book. Or you'll kind of come away going, well, it felt like somebody imitating him, but the story itself didn't really, With Chuck Dixon's Conan, I don't feel like it's somebody imitating the style as much as sort of embodying it. Doing it right, but it feels authentic. It doesn't feel forced. And you get a solid story, solid characterizations to go along with them. So let's read a little bit from the beginning of this. I don't have my bifocals on, so we'll see how I do. Have you ever seen that scene in the Marx Brothers movie Night at the Opera where Groucho's trying to get it far enough away that he could read it? You don't happen to have an orangutan in your pocket, do you? So let's read from chapter 1 of Caravan of the Damned. The merciless sun hammered the sands to a furnace heat. The Cimmerian lay belly down at the crest of a dune, his eyes slits against the white glare. He sucked on a pebble to create spittle. The tiny round stone hung from a leather thong about his neck for that purpose. Down the long slope that dropped away below him, he could see the broad, unforgiving plains of the empty lands of the Zuagir, stretching to a horizon made invisible by the shimmering heat. Earth and sky joined to create a dry place, without wind or mercy or shade. Through the wavering haze, rising into a yellow sky, he could see a long string of shapes moving across the desert. They were mere specks at this distance, but his eyes were sharp, and he knew this to be a caravan following an ancient trail from the west. They came out of Caravan or Zamora, laden with goods or coin. There was no other reason to cross these wastes, except in pursuit of trade. And so, in Caravan of the Damned, we have a classic Conan setting, the desert, the wastes. Conan is a Northman from a hilly, forested land, and yet some of the best Conan material is him in the desert sands. And of course, we also have the classic Conan profession of bandit. Here he has one of his times where he's risen to the leadership of a bandit clan, a bandit band. And he and his men are out waiting for a caravan to pass, and they find one. And of course, what they find in that caravan is more than what they bargained for, because it is carrying a princess to an arranged marriage. And this creates some problems, because the king of Zamora wants his daughter back. And he sends out his immortals, his king's own, his best warriors, they're accompanying this caravan. They're lagging behind. The caravan is guarded, but the immortals are lagging behind. They're following it. And so when Conan and his men take this caravan and capture this princess, the immortals are very soon on their heels. And this forces Conan and his men across the desert, hotly pursued, with little chance of winning. And they initially strike out for an oasis. But it becomes apparent they're not going to reach it in time. And they're losing men, and they're losing their strength. And so they make a fateful decision at one point that they're going to have to move west. They see clouds, dark clouds on the horizon. Maybe it's rain. Maybe it's water. The water's running out. And so they strike for those clouds. And that's where the plot thickens. So I'm going to go ahead and erase the alarm. Spoilers potentially ahead. Although I'm going to do my best not to completely spoil this for you. Because as always, I'm reviewing it because I want you to go out and read it. And not just listen to what I have to say about it. You got to enjoy Conan viscerally. Not at a distance. So this book, to me, it sums up what I always felt was like the ultimate theme of Conan, which is it's not heroic. Conan are tales of survival. Conan he's just about to grab that brass ring, and then it all goes horribly wrong. And he doesn't often come out with the victory that he was aiming for. And the story becomes one of how is he going to survive with the sort of the rug pulled out from under his feet. And that's what we read Conan for. Conan is not a hero. He is not a good guy. He is a thief. He's a murderer. He can form attachments to people for a time. He often in this book is, spurring his men on, but that's because they are tools of his will. They're going to help him survive. In the process, they're going to die. Hey, maybe he's going to die too. But he's marshaling his forces because he needs them, not because of some deep and abiding love of them. But he can show a sense of loyalty or appreciation for loyalty as well. He's not a completely hardened character, but he's not a hero. Conan is not Luke Skywalker. He's not Superman. He's not even Batman. But we can get something out of Conan as decent human beings, and that being his perseverance, his will to survive, his will to conquer adversity, but also this is not a man who crumples. As everything's falling down around him, he doesn't take time to go, oh my God, what's going on? Crom, why me? No. Conan's just like, well, this is going sideways. What's plan B? How do I salvage this? And at the minimum, how do I get out of this alive? How do I get out of this alive with as much treasure as I possibly can? Conan is far more Dungeons and Dragons than old school Dungeons and Dragons than almost any other character. It's about the coins. It's about conquering and getting away with it. It's not about saving the princess, saving the kingdom, and doing good. And again, that's not a good pattern for a human being to live their life by. It really isn't. Some internet advice will put you on that path, and it's almost certainly a path to ruin. But like I said, we can learn from Conan, and what we can learn is don't crumple into self-pity when things are going wrong. Size up the situation and start figuring out how you're going to get through it. Persevere in the face of everything going wrong. And this book is no different. And that's why, to me, it's a great Conan book, because it captures those themes beautifully. The big score of this caravan goes wrong immediately. Immediately does it go wrong. Oh, my goodness, we have this princess. They're not going to let us get away. They're not going to say, it's some gold, it's some jewels, it's some silks. Fine. No. We're going to be pursued to the ends of the earth. And we're being pursued by the absolute best warriors of Zamora. This is serious. This isn't a bunch of soldiers who don't give a crap. Dudes are driven. They're better equipped than we are. They're better trained than these bandits are, at least in fighting. They have camels. We have horses. We're going across this completely bleak, waterless desert. We're screwed. And then, maybe we head to those clouds and we're going to be saved. No, it gets worse. They're not clouds of water. It's smoke. This is this volcanic land that they've wandered into. But wait, there's an oasis hidden among it. No. This is no oasis. This is like a hell on earth. And at every turn, it gets worse and worse and worse. And, what ultimately happens? Well, for that, you're going to have to read Chuck Dixon's Caravan of the Damned. It is a great read. This is not a criticism of the packaging of the art or anything else, but this is the kind of book that should be a yellowed, pocket-sized paperback with a Frazetta cover. It's Conan, and it's a great pleasure read. Of course, like any good story, you can draw more out of it than just pleasure, but it's definitely a good pleasure read. As I was getting to the final couple chapters, I have to stop myself from almost skipping paragraphs, because what's next? It builds to a fever pitch. And in that, I think even better than his first book. I liked the ending of the first one, but I like how this ends and how it all comes to a head better than the first one. The first one built something, and then I felt like, I didn't get the full payoff of this. This one I do. And again, a backshy 70s style fantasy cartoon of this book would be incredible. Read it and you'll see what I mean. Read it and tell me in your mind you're not paging through Savage Sword of Conan or seeing that style of animation in front of your face. It's the first one I could picture like a Schwarzenegger movie, but better than the Schwarzenegger movies. Ultimately, this one that was the image I was getting, was a backshy cartoon. Great stuff. Highly suggested. Hey, if you've read any of these, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear in the comments what you think about them. If you're a big Conan fan, tell us all about it. Let's get some conversations going. If you enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you give a like. Maybe think about subscribing. I do a lot of pop culture reviews. Try to keep it generally positive, because I want to share good stuff out there, stuff I enjoy, rather than just complain. Believe me, here at home, wife and daughter get to hear me complain, 12 hours of the day. I save up all the positivity for my YouTube channel. That's not entirely true, but it's a little bit true. So I try to keep positive, try to point people to cool stuff out there that maybe they haven't seen or not aware of yet. that they can enjoy. So maybe think about subscribing or maybe sharing with a friend. That would be cool too. In the meantime, God bless everybody out there. Please be kind to one another and try to have some fun. And I will see you next time on Dad's Den of Pop Culture.